Today's lesson in math is lesson 1 in a unit on place value with decimals. And the goal of today's lesson was to use place value to understand our base 10 units all the way from millions to thousandths. So I'm going to do a couple problems from tonight's homework. Today's math lesson is lesson 1 in a unit on place value with decimals. We are using place value charts pictorially to understand base 10 units all the way from millions to thousands. So I'm going to do problems 3 and 4 from their homework. So we learned about place value in 2 ways. Number 3 says that the researchers counted 8,912 monarch butterflies, and they estimated that the total number of butterflies at the site was 1,000 times as large. So we are going to take 8,912, and we're going to multiply it by 1,000 because it says 1,000 times as large. So we talked in class today. When you multiply, your number gets larger. When you multiply your decimal point, which by the way it's here in this whole number, your decimal point moves to the right. So since we have 1, 2, 3 zeros and 1,000, we're going to move our decimal point 3 places to the right when we multiply by 1,000. So when I move that decimal point 3 places to the right, I do it once, twice, 3 times, and I'm adding on those zeros right there. So now my answer has become 8,912,000 butterflies. And that's my answer. And to explain my thinking, what I'm really going to say is when I multiply my number becomes larger. The students should be writing this down. My number becomes larger, and I move to the right. And I move right. So when you divide, you move to the left. When you multiply, you move to the right. Now, when number 4 here is about using a place value chart. So anytime we use a place value chart, we got to label the places first. So these are tenths. These are hundredths. And these are thousandths. And we labeled place value charts today in class. And then before the decimal point, we have our usual ones, tens, hundreds, and thousandths. Okay, so that's our place value chart. Now this question's they try and trick you a tad, and they say a student used his place value chart to show a number after the teacher instructed him to divide his number by 1,000. The chart showed 28.033. Now that's after that happened, he had 28.033. That means we want to know what it looked like at first, because that's what it says in the problem. So we're going to do the opposite of dividing, and that's multiplying. So basically, if you have 28.003, and you're going to multiply, the opposite of dividing by 100, you're going to multiply by 100, your number is going to get bigger. When your number gets bigger on a place value chart, it goes that way. So all these numbers have to move 2 places to the left. Why 2 places? Because your 100 has 2 zeros. So this is going to move 2. This is going to move 2. Every number is going to move 2 places. And you're going to show that with arrows. So that now this has become, your answer now has become a 2 in the thousands place, an 8 in the hundreds place, a 0 in the tens place, a 0 in the ones place. So then that means that now the 3 is in the tenths place, because as you can see right here, this 3 had to move 2 places to the tenths place. So my answer at first was 2,800.3, or 2,803 tenths. And that's how you use the place value chart to do part of number 4.